Oh, hey, good morning, gang. Kevin Strange here. Early morning, 9 a.m. We're going to do a little inking today on the. I want you guys to see my password. We're going to do a little inking today on the Strangeville Smoke Weed poster. If you guys hung out yesterday on the stream show, you saw me start the pencil 11 by 17 pencil poster. Well, we got that all finished last night. Did all the penciling. I got 30 of your favorite Strangeville characters. Penciled out. This is where the Strangeville Smoke Weed text is going to go at the bottom of the card table there. So I got all the penciling done last night, and today we're going to do the inking. So let me turn that back up. So this is the we've taken a picture of the poster, and we put it into our Clip Studio Paint program on our iPad, and now we're going to take these wonderful pencils and we're going to ink them digitally. That's what we do here in Strangeville. That's how we It's how we create our art here. So make sure you like this video. We're doing this on the Facebooks again. Good morning. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you throw some comments on the video. Talk to me live. I got the comments up here in my StreamYard studio, and we can have a little chat. I've already well, let's get right into it. I'm going to start the inking process. Okay, here we go. I actually, you know what? I'm actually going to make a change here. I've got this set at 300 resolution. I'm actually going to set it at 600. Because I want to be able to blow this. I want to be able to blow this up even bigger. It's set right now at 11 by 17, but I think I'm actually going to make this poster gigantic for the convention when the politically manufactured COVID crisis is over and conventions start back up. I think I'm going to blow up a gigantic poster and take this out on the road. So I changed the image resolution on here, and we're going to dig right in. And the pencils are not there to be traced. They're there as a guideline, as a roadmap. And the inking process is an opportunity for me to improve upon the foundation that the pencils provide for me. Pencils require a lot of noodling around, fooling around, trying to find the correct dimensions, trying to find the volume, trying to find the line weight, trying to find the energy of the piece. And the ink, the reason we go back and ink what we've already penciled, looks like a big old waste of time, like I'm just tracing the work I've already done, but the inking creates the strength of the piece. Solid, thick black lines that will define our piece here. How are you guys today? Drop some comments in. Tell me what you're doing with your day. If you ever wondered how Kevin Strange gets so much damn work done, how have you made so many movies, written so many novels, and now you're making damn comic books and card games? How do you do it? Well, I do it by doing it, gang. I'm up and at him. I did a 2-mile walk at the park by the pond this morning at 6:45 a.m. I've already eaten a salad today. I've had 3 or 4 glasses of water, and it's just now 9 a.m. My day is well underway. I am raring to go. By 9 in the morning, I am antsy to get started working on art. It's just how it is. How do you develop a work ethic like this? How do you build a lifestyle where you can get up early in the morning and go right to work on your passion? It's really simple. It's what I just said. You have to find your passion in this life. And that passion ain't playing video games. And it ain't watching porn. You have to find something that truly motivates you to fly out of bed, and something that every single day you can't wait to dig into, to obsess over, to get better at, try to improve upon day after day after day, to watch other people who also have your passion, watch them indulging in that passion. And for a lot of people, finding the thing that they're crazy passionate about in life is hard to do, because a lot of people from an early age, because of television and social media and video games, a lot of people learn at an early age how to check out, how to evacuate their consciousness. And a lot of people never learn how to tune in, how to be present in the moment, how to feel the energy of this thing we call life, in a significant way. There's pretty much the entirety of Western culture teaches you the opposite, teaches us to check out, to evacuate, to live unconscious lives that exist, purely to consume products. And to consume ideas that keep us, that limit our consciousness. Jason Hanna, hey Kevin, wish you still did movies, man. Hey, this is the closest we're gonna get to movies, brother. Is doing these comic book tie-ins to it. For now, I mean, I flirt with the idea of doing another movie a lot, but the thing about me is I wouldn't limit it to one movie. The thing about me is it would be a restarting of the entire Strangeville film lifestyle, and it's a very my program's going haywire on me here. Here we go. That lifestyle is grueling, and it was a ton of fun in my 20s. All that travel and the filmmaking process, the production of those films was just crazy, just grueling, physically demanding, because I would make movies constantly. I would never stop making movies. I would make them all the time. It was my entire lifestyle was film one movie, edit it, take it on the road, promote it for months, sell it at conventions for months, write the next movie, go into production on the next movie, go into post-production on the next movie, and then take it on the road and promote it for months. And that was my life for years. And it takes a physical toll on the body to stay in production on independent films. There's no shortcuts on indie film. You don't have trailers for your stars, your movie stars. You don't have the director doesn't just sit in a chair and say, do it again. Let's try that again. I'm an actor. I'm the actor. I'm the writer, the director, the producer, the actor, oftentimes the cinematographer. Making those movies is extremely hard to do. You still talk to Johnny P. I thought you would end up getting signed by Trauma. Yeah, me and Johnny talk about every other day or so. Still, he's been one of my best friends since he he helped to get me into filmmaking to start with. Old Johnny P. He showed me the films of Chris Seaver, who himself was a micro-budget Trauma wannabe, but his movies were so low budget, so micro-budget, so high concept, low production value, just the lowest of the low, like crappier than any movies you could imagine. Just shot on a little video camera for nothing, for $0. You've heard of low budget movies. These were absolutely zero budget films. And I realized, my God, I can do that. Anybody can do that. I can write crazy Kevin Smith style dialogue. I can make, these larger than life characters. Nothing could stop me from doing that. So I did, and Johnny is the one that introduced me to the films of Chris Seaver. And then Johnny was instrumental in especially in the early days of hack movies. He would help me shoot the really basic short films. When I first bought I bought a video camera from Walmart for $200, and it was the worst camera you could imagine. It was just a handy cam, VHS-C tapes, mini DV tapes that went with it. But you could hook those little, you could digitize your film. You could hook those cameras up to a computer, and you could digitize your footage, and then you could edit on your desktop. You could edit that footage and add sound effects and video effects and all that stuff. You could add all that on a computer desktop. And it just, Johnny was, like I said, Johnny was instrumental in those early days in figuring all that technology out, helping me learn all that technology and get us going, making films. And we've remained pretty good friends over the years. Couldn't have done any of this without him. And 15 years later, I'm still telling the stories of Strangeville, brother. I'm just doing it in comic book form now because my old man body can process sitting at an art desk, penciling and inking these stories far easier than it can. I'm 40 now, and that might not seem old, but I've been making movies since I was 23, and that shit just took its toll on my body. I just living under the constant stress of the convention travel and the production of the films, production schedule. It was all hard life. It was a hard life, fun life, but very hard life. And I know that the comic books aren't for everyone that love the movies. There's always going to be movie fans. I wrote novels for a long time. There were novel fans of just the novel of my fiction who never even watched my movies, or if they did watch my movies, they thought my movies were lowbrow, cheesy crap that I should have been embarrassed about. I was like, bitch, I'm not fucking embarrassed by those movies. Those movies are who I am. I am Kevin Strange, and Strangeville is my state of mind. It's where I live. And now I'm back to the Strangeville characters, but we're working in comic book form. And there are fans of these comics that have never even watched the movies or don't care about the movies or the novels. So it's weird. It's like there's crossover. There are people who do like one or two of the mediums that I work in, or some like all three. The rare birds, the unicorns, the true hack minions. They follow me no matter what medium I work in. I've got a card game. I'm actually doing this poster that we're drawing right now is for the Strangeville Smoke Weed collectible card game, which is like Magic the Gathering for stoners, like Magic the Gathering for hack minions. And there will be people that there will be fans of the card game that never read the comics or never watch the movies or read the novels. That'll only be into the games because they're gamer dudes. Jason says, well, I love your films and appreciate your hard work and all that you did. Much love. Thanks, brother. It's people like you who made that crazy dream of mine back when I was 23-year-old kid with hopes and dreams and quite a bit of I was extremely naive. Quite a bit of naivety went into those early years because I didn't care how much work it was going to be, but I truly didn't know just how hard the work was actually going to be when we really got into the films. Making one film, okay, it's really hard, but it's one film. I made 7 feature films in a 5 or 6 year period, and it was insane, totally insane. But it built my my universe here, and I still get to draw and hang out with those characters, and we still get to find out what those characters are up to this day. Right now, I'm drawing a picture of Sarsaparilla the Weed Witch from Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas, which was made in 2009. 11 years ago, I created these characters of Sarsaparilla here, and little Rocco minion right here that I'm starting work on now. These characters were created 11 years ago, and I still get to play with them and expand their stories and give them new adventures. And it's, you know, guys like you that gave me the confidence, you know, to do this at all. I'm just a nobody kid from the Midwest. I don't come from an artistic family. I don't come from an affluent background. Nobody gave me the money to make these films. All this stuff was done out of my pocket. Everything you've ever seen from Strangeville is, you know, financed by me through the crappy jobs that I've worked over the years. And that's fucking it. Johnny doesn't have any dead cats in his windows. I don't know what that's a reference to. Embarrassed, fuck that. Your comics are great as well. Didn't get to check out the novels yet. Thanks, brother. Thanks. Sean Fowler says, good morning, sir. Good morning, Sean. Thanks for joining me again. Love that these comic characters are real people. How do they feel about seeing themselves in comics? It's funny that you mentioned that, because there's actually a little black and white mini comic that I'm going to put out when conventions start back up again, that I can give away for free, that I can print here at my home computer and put out for free. And it's called Nixon and Hogan Hate Comic Books. And Nixon and Hogan are going to get high and actually realize that they're comic book characters. And they're so pissed that they're not movie characters and that they're comic book characters now, that they actually go to Kevin Strange's house and they're going to kick his ass. They're actually going to beat down Kevin Strange for making them into comic book characters. So Nixon and Hogan are pretty mad, pretty upset about it. But you're talking about the actors, right? You mean like, how do the actors that played these characters feel about the? Because I consider the characters themselves to be real people. These are my people. I live in Strangeville. These are my neighbors. These are my family. These are my friends. Everything I have in my life, everything I've ever been proud of in my life, is thanks to these characters. These are real, living, breathing people to me. But you mean the actual actors that played the parts of these characters? They get a kick out of it. When I first started doing the comics, I would text because I didn't tell anybody that I was doing comics until I was actually knee deep in the process, because I didn't want it to be another like endeavor that didn't go anywhere. So I waited until I was really far in the process to start talking about it. But secretly, I was texting pictures of the characters to the different actors that played these characters in the movies, and they all got a kick out. I mean, they all cracked up about it. These are funny, exaggerated, caricatures of these these people. So they all like it. There's like competition for who has more characters in the card game and in the comic book universe, and I think Katie Dearest has the most, even more than me, characters than anybody. Here on this page, let's see. Let me hide this ink layer and go back to the pencil layer, and I'll show you. Well, here, I'll do it on the big piece. Let me save this real quick. And so here's the let me back this up. Here's the pencil version with 30 characters on it. Let's count. This is Mary Beth. That's Katie Dearest's character. This is Nancy. That's 2. That's Katie Dearest's character. This is Shaniqua up in the corner from Nixon and Hogan Meet Satan. That's a Katie Dearest character. That's 1, 2, 3. She's got, it looks like she only has 3 represented on this poster. And I'm Hogan, and I played Cockhammer, and I played Wilhelm from Colonel Kill Motherfuckers. So I'm 3 characters. Timo Sapien, he's Tony, Hogan's brother Tony. He is up here. We got Shitcakes McGillicuddy in the wrestling mask. And Timo is also another, Timo was Rocco Minion. So that's 3 for Timo. Oh, and Jables. Jables from Colonel Kill Motherfuckers. So I believe he's represented, Timo's represented 4 times here. And then let's see, we have Eric A. Williams. He's Dr. Baumeister here. He's also Parander. And did he make it on here again? I don't think so. Then Joshua Montoya is Nixon. He's also Colonel Kill Motherfuckers. And I think that's it for him on the poster. So it looks like of all of the poster, it looks like Timo wins with 4 characters that he played. I mean, look how many. This is 30 characters from the Hack Movies universe, and this isn't even all of them. This isn't everybody. I just picked the 30. I don't know, favorites, best. I don't know, funnest to draw. Sean says, check out Duke's Details or PJ's Details in Alton. There's a real lack of detail shops in the area. We were talking yesterday, me and Sean were talking yesterday about my my work car needs like really good interior detailed cleaning because it's just trashed. So he's gonna help me out there. Helping me out there, looking for dudes that'll do detail work for me. Yeah, there's not a lot of detail stuff. I guess people usually do their cars themselves, I guess. Let's get back into that's a little too close. Let's get back into the work here. Sean says, I'm an OG Hack Film supporter for life. I own all the first edition DVDs. Probably more than me. I don't think I own all the first edition DVDs anymore. Over the years, I've lost them, and life happens. All right, I've got Rocco. Oh, we got to do Rocco's Tentacle here. Sean, I appreciate you showing up on these morning streams and hanging out, brother. Jason, I appreciate you hanging out too, talking about these this wacky Strangeville universe we built together, gang. We built it together. It's because of you guys that I even get to do this. Sean knows me. He knows I'm just some random dude from a small town, and I just happen to invent this psychotic universe of characters that just resonates with people and I think it resonates with people because these characters are just an exaggeration of my life. These are just, I love the absurdity of stoner culture. I just love the stuff that I focus on in the films and in the comics is just it's fucking ghetto life, man. It's just what you deal with when you live around here. It's what you deal with when you live in the Midwest in a small town, man. You deal with drugs, and you deal with the absurdity of life, and you deal with poverty. Most of the stuff that we deal with here in the Hack Movies universe is the effect of poverty on people, and the effect of drugs and poverty is basically the theme of Hack Movies and the Strangeville universe, is how absurd life in poverty-stricken small towns is. And that resonates with people. People, especially the people in those situations, they need a release. They need something to validate how fucked up this lifestyle is. The struggle of it, but the pride of it too. It's this weird, you have this strange sense of pride that you go through, that you can survive this grueling monotony, this lack of resources, this watching people that are close to you descend into drug-addled madness. And it's fucking weird, man. It's a weird fucking life. And no one in Hollywood that comes from privilege, that comes from money, no one in Hollywood can really recreate this. I think the show Shameless on Showtime is about as close as you can come to detailing what a life in poverty really looks like in America, in the American Midwest. But even Shameless doesn't get it right. It just makes it funny. It makes it funnier than anything else in Hollywood does. But even that is more sensationalized than what we really go through, living in places like this. Jason says no oversized Tootsie Pops. So over here, you can't really see the pencils very well, but here, I'll use we actually have Nicholas. Where are we at here? Where are we at? We actually have this here is Nicholas, the Dungeon Master from Colonel Kill Motherfuckers. He's the one that uses the oversized Tootsie Pop to kill Colonel Kill. This is the wound on Colonel Kill's head from the oversized Tootsie Pop. And I was thinking about putting it in the shot with him, but I thought I'd rather have more characters than have the Tootsie Pop. But on his card in the card game, he's holding it. He's holding the Tootsie Pop weapon in the card game. So it is represented. The Tootsie Pop lives on in Hack Movies infamy. Johnny actually found that. Johnny P actually found that oversized Tootsie Pop at a yard sale, and the rest is history. He actually used to bring that thing to conventions. And Colonel Kill, there's a famous picture we took at one of our early conventions of Colonel Kill with the Tootsie Pop squaring off against Toxie from Trauma with Toxie's mop, and it's an iconic cult film crossover. Sean says, "I'm so proud of where you've taken this." Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's been it's my life's work. It's my, when When it's all said and done, this is the legacy I leave behind. Hopefully, I'll have kids one day, and they can, the thing about having kids for me is all I think. Like a lot of times, I think about this crazy universe I'm creating, and I think like if I have a son or even a daughter, if she's so inclined, I hope they want to I hope that they want to keep this going. I hope that they think like, Dad's shit is fucked up. I don't want to draw him right now. Dad's shit is totally fucked up, but then they, at some point in their lives decide like, well, this belongs to us now. Like, let's keep it going. Let's keep making weird fucking characters and telling these stories of these fucking weird, poor drug addicts in the little town of Strangeville, Illinois. Jason said, grew up with you and always rooting for you. Just don't know how I never met you besides at conventions. I don't know, brother. You live around here? I can't wait for conventions to come back. I took a few years off conventions when I was writing novels. I just got burnt out. I did a lot of years on the road for Hack Movies, and then I did even more years on the road selling books, and the road kicked my fucking ass. The road is so hard. I love it. I love living on the road. I love living out of hotels. I love the travel. I love driving down the highway. I love driving up and down the fucking highways of this Midwest America. There's nothing like it in the fucking world, but it takes its toll on your body and on your mind. And I had to get off the road for a while. I haven't been on the road for several years, and I am itching to get back and get these comic books in people's hands, get this card game in people's hands. I can't wait to play against fans out on the road and just see their reaction. Because even the playtesters that have played the game with me, they're either Hack actors or big fans of Hack Movies and the Strangeville universe. And just their reaction to these to the game, to the absurdity, of the game, just makes it all worth it, man. I can't wait to get it out there and get it in the hands of the fans and let them see how fucking wacky this game is. I mean, I grew up watching your stuff. I'm from the Highland area. He says, "Take that, Kaufman." Maybe that's in reference to that Toxie versus Colonel Kill battle, iconic battle. Is this picture going to be on T-shirts or stickers? It could be. It's a poster right now. It's going to be the poster for the card game launch, and it's going to be a stretch goal. If we make enough money in the crowdfunder for the game, you'll get this poster free. With the card game. So be sure to come in and back the card game when it's released, and it'll probably going to release the game next week. It's coming. It's coming quickly. So jump in. You're going to get a mini comic. Again, if we hit the stretch goal for it, you're going to get a 32-page preview of Cockhammer Lives, the next graphic novel. Cockhammer Lives is going to be 150 pages. It's an insane story about Wolfram Wingate coming back from hell after they were murdered by Terrence and Parander in Cockhammer. They come back from hell as demons. It is a fucking trip. One of the craziest stories in a whole smorgasbord of crazy stories. Cog Camera Lives is one of the weirdest stories I've ever told. So you get a 32-page preview comic, the first act, if you will. It's a 4-act story. You get that first act free if we hit that stretch goal. You get that free comic. I posted a picture of that. The cover for the preview comic is Demony Wolfram flying through a butthole. Flying through a meat portal. Jason says, you have everyone in that and tell me that wouldn't sell. I hope it does. If I put it on a t-shirt or some stickers, I hope it does sell. Selling the shit it's like is a fun like afterthought for me, because making it and telling the stories is my true motivator. And selling the stuff and getting the stuff into the hands of the fans, that's why I do this. That's why I do this, brother. I went back and forth on this girl because she's not a character from Hack Movies. She's just some random hoe. And I really liked the fact that she has a strange tattoo right above her vagina, and she has giant knockers. And having her like center right there between Nixon and Hogan playing the card game, I thought she just tied the room together. So I don't know who she is. Maybe she's somebody. Maybe she'll make an appearance in another comic. Where are you going to be selling this? Indiegogo is my go-to crowdfunder. Indiegogo, I like them because they charge the credit cards when you make the purchase. They don't Kickstarter waits and doesn't try to run the credit card until the campaign is fulfilled. So you don't even know if there's going to be, like, you can raise all the money you want, but there's a question as to whether you're actually going to get that money because they wait so long to run the cards. Indiegogo just charges the account as soon as you make the purchase. So it might be a month. For me, here's the thing. When I do crowdfunders, I don't crowdfund until the product is finished. So if I'm crowdfunding a comic book, I don't crowdfund until the comic book is finished. This card game is finished. It's completely done and printed. I have a copy of it in the other room. It's done. And I've been playtesting it with an actual retail version of the game. In fact, the final playtesting night is tonight. Me and the playtesters are gonna go through and do our final round of playtesting and tighten up any loose ends that we think need to be tightened up. Cards that are a little overpowered. Some of the cards, they don't have they're a little ambiguous in their rules on the card. So we got to tighten up the language on the card, be more specific about certain language to make sure that players can truly understand how the card works. That's tonight. And after that's done, when I say we're going to launch it next week, that's because I'm going to print it next week, and it'll be ready to go when the crowdfunder ends. So if I start the crowdfunder next week and I run it for 1 month, at the end of that month, you're getting a card game. There's no question. It's no risk. There's no risk to back my campaigns because the product is already finished. I will never ask you for money for something that hasn't already been finished, which many crowdfunders do, and many people risk their money on those crowdfunding sites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter and get burned because the product never comes out, never gets made. In Strangeville, we will never do that to you. We will never hustle you out of money for something we haven't already made. So there's that. So when I say we're launching next week, it's because this sucker's done and we're printing it and we're ready to put it in your mighty minion hands. I gave the Dream Reaper kind of a different look. He's got like almost a scarf thing covering his face now. I wish you would do a comic shop, maybe O'Fallon live characters. Pop Rocks would be cool as well. I'm going to try to do the comic shops. I'm going to try to get the comics and the game into comic shops. I just don't know if they'll carry it because it's such adult content. I don't know if that's going to scare them off. But I'm going to try. I'm going to go in there and hustle. I will be hustling for sure, trying to get this stuff sold locally. I love the local fans are what you guys were the beginning. You know, the very first thing I did when I made Dream Reaper was I went to the local music stores, Slacker CDs and games, and we had Dream Reaper for sale there through commission when it first came out, and a lot of the early Hack Movies fans came from guys seeing that movie in Slackers and buying it, and then contacting me through email and being like, "Dude, this shit's fucked up. Are you gonna make more?" And so a lot of our early fans came about that way. So I have nothing but love for the local shops. It's just a matter of whether they want to fuck with me. I'll fuck with them, but will they fuck with me? Is the real question. Sean said, "I just introduced my audio installer to Hack Films." That's great. That's great. It's a love it or hate it thing, isn't it, Sean? People are either like, "This is fucking stupid." I mean, these guys are using a fucking video camera. Like, I know where that park is. They fucking filmed this stupid shit in that park down the street. Or they love that fact. They're like, "I know where that park is. This is fucking awesome." It's always one or the other. Love it or hate it. Jason says, "I remember Slackers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're still around. I'm pretty sure they still they're hanging in there, kicking around. I don't know if they're up there in the Highland area where you're at, but they're down here still kicking around." Man, we've knocked out a bunch of these characters so far today. I'm getting tired. We've been going almost an hour. I'm probably going to cut this off at an hour and take a break and let my hand rest and then get back to it this afternoon. I really appreciate you guys hanging out and kicking it with me here. It's a lot. The time passes. Time passes a lot faster when you got homies to chill with and talk, reminisce, talk about, geek out about the Hack Movies universe. Tell me this, Jay. Saturday night would close tattoo parlor and get fucked up watching your films. It was a regular thing. Well, that's fucking cool, man. I love hearing that. That's fantastic. My buddy Vinny, who's in the films, he's actually, where are we at? He's this dude right here is Papa McShango, and then over here is Mortok von Schmorlock the Warlock. My friend Vinny plays those two characters, and he owns a tattoo shop, and we actually filmed some of the film Stiff Jobs. We filmed at his tattoo shop. I actually would love to get the comics in, because these comics are all stoner comics and stuff. I would love to get this stuff into tattoo shops as well. Andy says Slackers was, hey Andy, thanks for joining us. Slackers was where I found One Way before I met you. Yeah. Slackers was the gateway for a lot of people. It's nice to watch you do your craft. Thanks, Jason. I love drawing and talking to you guys. This is a lot of fun for me. I'm going to be drawing either way. Like, this is what I do with my day. This is what I do with my life. But being able to hang out and talk to you guys while I do it is a lot of fun. Sean says, "Hey, I just remembered that I loaned you $100 for used camera. Are you shaking me down for $100? I don't remember this. Did you? Did you loan me money? Do I owe you money? I can pay you back in comic books. I can pay you back in DVDs." Jason says, "I know Vinny." He says, "I sent you a private message and we can do the merch thing with the tattoo parlors for sure." Well, hell yeah, dude. I got all kinds of shit, man. I've even got little, I've got these little displays that are like three spots in them where we can put comic books and DVDs in these little displays. They don't take up much room, but we can pop one on your counter and have like 3 or 4 comics and 3 or 4 DVDs will fit in there. Tom asks, what program are you using? What's up, Tom? Thanks for joining us. I'm on an iPad Pro, and the program that I'm using is called Clip Studio Paint, which it used to be called Manga Studio, and it's what the mangaka in Japan would digitally create comics on. And it became so popular here among comic book artists in America that they released an American version called Clip Studio Paint. So it's like, if you're familiar with using Photoshop, it is like Photoshop with a bunch of shortcuts for artists. It really is a great program. And I have a base in Photoshop. That's what I did all the graphic design. Won't stop calling me today. That's the base for all the graphic design work I did for Hack Movies and Strange House was in Photoshop. So it was a pretty easy adoption to move over and start working in Clip Studio, which is sort of what gave me the confidence to try drawing comics in the first place. I was like, oh, this program is akin to Photoshop, and if I can, and I know I can do Photoshop, so if I can do this program, if I can use Clip Studio, I bet I can draw comics. And a couple of years later, here we are. I'm still not very good, but I get better every day. Better at the fundamentals every day. So Clip Studio Pro, and it's actually really cheap. I think the iPad Pro version is annually $20. I think it costs $20 annually to run this program. This is Pastor Pete, one of my favorite characters from Nixon and Hogan Smoke Christmas. Sean says, I really did consider it a gift. Well, thanks. We'll consider it an investment into Hack Movies. You're an investor, a producer, if you will, an uncredited producer on the Hack Movies. On the Hack Movies tip. Sean says, rumor has it I was a bit of a drug dealer back then. Well, you know, I don't do drugs, so our friendship was based on mutual, I guess, respect and admiration for each other's hustle. But I didn't get into the drug scene, believe it or not. You know, as crazy as these movies and comics and everything, as crazy as they are, and as seeped in drug culture as they are, I don't partake in the drugs. Not that I haven't in the past, but it's not I don't have time. This is my drug. Drawing comics all day long is my drug. The Strangeville universe is my drug. Coming up with these insane stories and drawing them out. Nice. I use Procreate, Tom says. Procreate is cool. I've looked into a bunch of I've looked at a bunch of tutorials for Procreate, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like Procreate is great for one-off drawings. It doesn't seem like Procreate has the same powerful tools to do comic books as Clip Studio does. And I know Procreate's really cheap too. Procreate's like $10, and I think it's ever. I don't think it's an annual fee. I think you just pay like $10 and you've got Procreate. And I've seen a lot of really cool animations come out of Procreate, as well as drawings. But like I said, I don't necessarily think it I don't necessarily think Procreate is right for the stuff that I do here. Actual comic book creation. Sequential art. Panels and whatnot. Jason says, you know, Kevin, you're one of a kind. I can draw, but you can create a world, brother. I mean, I can't draw very well, but yes, I can create whatever reason. I've always had this fucking batshit crazy imagination, and it serves me well. It serves me well. There was actually a time I was up at I was up in Oregon writing novels with one of my favorite underground novelists, Carlton Mellick, and we both write some of the craziest shit you could ever read. And we were joking that neither one of us did drugs. Like we rented a beach house, and we lived there for a week. No phones, no internet access, and we marathon wrote novels. I wrote the novel I Died in a Bed of Roses, and he wrote the novel Spider Bunny. And we joked during the week that as fucking crazy as our art is, neither one of us, I mean, I think we would walk down to the there was, like, we were in a coastal town, so we were right on the ocean, the Pacific Ocean in Oregon, and we would walk down to one of the like seafood bars and maybe have a beer or two beers at night after we finished writing. But we didn't do any drugs the whole time we were there, and neither one of us actively do drugs today. Maybe when we were younger, but it's funny that two people that create some of the weirdest worlds in our fiction don't actively take drugs to create it. I don't need LSD or mushrooms or speed or any of that to create the worlds of Strangeville. Even though the worlds of Strangeville include crackheads and meth dealers and potheads galore, we somehow managed to pull it off without that. We're getting a lot of characters done. Gone an hour. I was going to stop, but we got a lot of people in here, so I'm going to keep going a little bit. Tom says, "You're really good, bro. I love your work. Thanks." I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just keep fucking doing it. I picked a style. I wanted to do cartoony stuff. I looked at the art of Bill Watterson, who does cartoony comics, Calvin and Hobbes. And I looked at Doug Tentacle, the Earthworm Jim creator, who does he has a cartoony style. There's a dude I follow named Scotty Young. He has a cartoony style. And Ethan Nicole, who did Axe Cop, he's got a cartoony style. And I just sort of studied and studied and studied how they did their faces, how they did their eyes, how they did their hands, how they did their gestures and actions. And I just studied and studied and studied and copied and copied and copied until this popped out. Whatever the fuck this style is, this Kevin Strange style is just the product of me copying those guys, who I think are the best at what they do, the best at the cartoony style. Doing Strangeville Santa Claus here now. Well, I only sold pot, Sean said. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I'm so proud of the person I am today. Not ashamed of my past, though. Well, there's nothing wrong with selling a little weed here and there. And I mean, everything that was your past built you to the person, built the guy today that can run a kick-ass fucking mod shop, brother. All that life experience is what brought you right where you're at today, doing that thing. Sean says, I never even tried anything except mushrooms. I did a lot of acid in the 90s. Acid was readily available around these parts in the 90s, and I took a bunch of it, and it fucked me up. I had some emotional problems, some anxiety problems for years afterwards. I used to be a big stoner. I used to smoke a lot of pot. But once I hit the acid and I had a couple of bad trips, the anxiety I got, it was like a general low-level anxiety at all times. But if I smoked pot, the anxiety was uncontrollable. I just could not have fun. It was a miserable time. And eventually there was one day I was stoned and I was freaking out. And I literally was like, why do I even bother doing this? It makes me feel terrible. And I never smoked pot again. And all that anxiety eventually went away. Eventually I worked through the anxiety from the acid trips, and that all kind of worked itself out. And I often wonder if I smoked weed today, if it would just be fun and chill, and it wouldn't give me that anxiety, because I don't ever have it. I don't ever have anxiety anymore. So my guess is I'd be fine. Strangeville Satan here. from Nixon and Hogan Meets Satan, one of my favorites. A shorty but a goodie. That's where we met Shaniqua and Steve-O, two of the funniest Strangeville characters, I think. Steve-O, Shaniqua, and Satan are all in the card game. I didn't find room to put Steve-O on the poster here, but Shaniqua and Satan are on. There's someone is represented in every single movie here on the page. Here on the page. Damn, your hand getting tired? Lefties have their rights. Yeah, my hand is pretty numb right now. It's really starting to cramp up from drawing all this. I've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I've drawn 17 characters in an hour so far. Yeah, I'm just gonna do another one or two, and we'll call it good, call it a show. Like I said, this is a poster for the card game. The card game is kind of based in Magic the Gathering, if you're familiar with that. If you've ever played Magic the Gathering, that's kind of the base for the game. It's got different rules, but the rules are similar. So if you've played that one, it'll be easy to pick up on how to play Strangeville Smoke Weed. If you haven't, I don't know. I hope it's not that hard to learn how to play. It's a pretty straightforward game. You start off with a little bit of weed, and your opponent starts off with a little bit of weed, and the goal is you try to steal all your homies' weed, and the person who runs out of weed first loses. And that's the game. It's a drug dealing game. You play the weed dealer and the main weed dealer in Strangeville, and your opponent is the new cat in town trying to move in on your territory. And you got to bust him out by summoning the greatest characters in all of Strangeville. You've got to put that motherfucker out of business before he puts you out of business. And that's the game. Person who loses all their weed first loses. It's a loser. Yeah, we're making progress on this inking. Sean says, I got to run, buddy. We'll see you, Sean. Thanks for popping by again. I kind of want to make her, this is Gertrude, Mary Beth's friend from Cockhammer. Kind of want to make her a little bigger. So I'm going to cut this. That's better. I just cut her head out of the pencil layer and made it a little bigger, so that because I think she was her proportions were a little off. We're good now. I almost want to fucking finish the whole inking on stream, but my hand is killing me, and I'm getting hungry. So I think we're going to call it here in a second. I think I'm going to finish Gertrude, maybe chat for a minute. And then bail. Hustle and flow and hit a motherfucker with a Tootsie Pop and take his smoke. That's right. That's right. Okay, I think I'm going to finish this last little chunk of dudes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 11 more characters to ink. I think I'm going to do that later. I think I'm going to break for lunch. Get that file all saved up. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out. We did some good work today. Quite a few of our characters done here. Prepping the launch of the card game. I'm excited. I'm super excited, gang. All right. We're getting out of here. Thanks for joining me. I'll probably do a show tomorrow and color, at least color flat the poster on the show. So we'll see you guys in the morning, probably around the same time. Stay